What's up, guys? It's Careless Kid here. Sorry I haven't been recording lately. My schedule has been messed up lately. But I'm back now, and today we're going to go over another World War One tank. This time it is a special tank made by the Germans in World War One. And today we're going to be looking at the famous A7V. This is a German World War One design, designed by Hold on. Made by Joseph Vollmer. I'm probably butchering that name. Sorry, anyone, if you are from German heritage or speak German. But this was made by. Hold on. This was made by tankencyclopedia.com. So you know this. So yeah, this is some good stuff, good research. So yeah, the German A7V is a famous World War One German tank. Now, from what I remember, I think they wanted to build at least 100 tanks when in making these, but they only built around 20 to 30 heavy tanks. So here is some facts about the A7V. First, let's talk about why they were made. Local and see here we can see in 1916 both British and French introduced the tanks onto battlefield. So like the Mark IV, at the Mark IV and stuff like that, as we went over one time. But the German High Command still believed they could destroy them by using special rifles and artillery, which is true since the British Mark IVs and a bunch of other tanks were relatively slow at that time. They only went a couple miles per hour. Let's start with that first. They were giant. They're basically land ships, as they were once known as. But yeah, and as we can see here, the traditional view prevailed, seeing infantry as most versatile way to make a breakthrough. Notably, the famous assault squads or Sturmtruppen, or stormtroopers. And yes, that is something from Star Wars. This is where they got their inspiration from. So, and these guys were equipped with grenades, small arms fire, and flamethrowers. And yes, they were successful during the spring offensive and further hampered the need for, but they still needed the need for a tank. That is when Joseph Vollmer came in. Despite initial resistance against their first shocking appearance on the battlefield, in the fall of 1916 led in September of the same year to the creation of a study department. The Sorry for this butchering of the name. Apologize once again. Allgemeines Kriegsdepartement 7 Abteilung Verkehrswesen. Once again, I apologize. I do not know that much German or pronunciation of German. But this is also Department 7 Transport, and this is why it was known as the A7V. It was made here by the, I think I remember something about it being named after this whole thing, but I don't know specifically what words they used. But I know the reason they had the 7 in there was because of this Department 7. That's where it was created in. So what they did was these plans were first drawn by Joseph Vollmer, of course, a reserve captain and engineer. These specifications included top weight of 30 tons. Now, hold on. If I am majority correct, Now, we all know 30 tons is a lot, but to put it in for so much perspective, an elephant weighs around 2 to 7 tons. So, this tank was heavier than like around like maybe 15 elephants, if we're counting that. So yeah, this thing was pretty heavy, and this was the top weight. And they would use Austrian Holt chassis, and for the ability to cross ditches 1.5 meters, or if you don't speak in meters, 4.92 feet, which is a pretty wide ditch. Well, kind of like a trench system, but depending on how deep it is, yes. With the top speed at least 12 kilometers per hour, or if you speak in miles, 7.45 miles per hour, and several machine guns and a rapid fire gun. Several machine guns, 2 on each side of the tank and 2 on the back of the tank. And just like the Mark IV, they had female and male versions. The male had a 6-pounder cannon on the front, while the female had 2 machine guns on the front, replacing the 6-pounder cannon. Which is like the British Mark IV, as we discussed, who had 2 6-pounder guns on each side of the tank, but the female had all machine guns. And this chassis was also used for cargo and troop carriers. And as we can see in a quick picture, that is how many crew members can fit in the tank. So, see how many crew members there are? There might be more, and that might be honestly just the driver. As we can see here, this might be possibly a female, because there's 2 viewports, and if this was, and this could be the front, but as you can see from other perspectives, it looks exactly the same on front and back. So I do not know if this is just the back and they're just facing it, or if this is the front and they're moving this way. But if you can see here, now I might be wrong, but this is a kind of like a British dart thing, like a mark for a lot of planes, tanks, and stuff like that. Well, they do have the Iron Cross here for the Germans. I do suspect why they do have a British marking here. Either this could be a British captured A7V, or they have this for some other reason. But yes, there's a German A7V could possibly fit 18 to 20 men. A lot of them meant for handling the machine guns and cannon. And the cool thing about this tank is, if you look at the side of it, right around here is the whole engine, smack middle in the A7V. And this top part is a viewport for the commander and driver, who had to sit almost directly on the engine. And so, yeah, you can guess how pretty hot it could get in there, especially for the captain and driver. And if you want a more breakdown by A7V replicas by Harry4468, and go check them out, and by Giganaut A7V. So if you want to check those guys out, make sure you do that, because I haven't watched it myself, but I suspect it's pretty good. Now, this A7V is found in the museum somewhere. I do not know specifically where, but I'm guessing it might be in a World War I museum. So yeah, this is the only German tank to ever roam the battlefields of France and Belgium, and during World War I was nicknamed by the British as the Moving Fortress. We can probably guess why it was known as the Moving Fortress, because it was bigger. I think it was even bigger than the Mark IVs. I think also it might be even heavier. But there is also a famous A7V that was captured in British hands. It was known as the Mephisto, a Germanic demon, I think. Since, a bunch of crews like to specialize and name their tanks, this one was known as the Mephisto. I think the reason why the British managed to acquire or take it was because during on the mission, the Mephisto drove itself into a pipe, into like a mudslide or something like that, a ditch, I think, and I think this was deeper and more wider than what the A7V could go on. So yeah, it got stuck, lodged, and the crew member got out, only for the British to come in and take it for them. Now, this tank is the A7V, but also known as the Sturmpanzerkraftwagen, or assault armored motor vehicle, which means this was for assault purposes, and it was a motorized vehicle with armor, which perfectly describes the A7V's job. And here is the specifications for the A7V. First, let's look at the dimensions. 7.34 meters. I totally forgot. I kind of forgot what these mean, but I think this is height. This is the front, and this might be the side of the tank. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but it's 3.74 times 3.1 times 3.3 meters, or if you speak in feet, 24.08 times 10.17 times 10.82 feet. The total weight and battle ready is 30 to 32 tons. Reminder, this thing has around how many machine guns? Like 6 to 8, depending on the gender of the tank. So it could hold a lot of machine gun bullets, and tank shells. So yeah, crew 18, as we discussed. Propulsion. I do not know what that is, so real quick, please be patient as I look up what propulsion. The propulsion is the generation of force to push or drive an object forward. Oh, propulsion. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm kind of dumb, but it is 2 times 6 inline Daimler petrol 100 bhp or 75 kW combined with 200 bhp or 149 kW. Now, I do not know propulsion stuff, so if you do know it, please comment down below and please share with me what this means, because I have zero clue on what this means. Speed, it was pretty slow, so yeah, hold on. 80? Oh, no, wait, I'm looking at the range. Speed, 15 kilometers per hour or 9 miles per hour. As we discussed, 30 tons. So, yeah. Range on off-road, 80 to 30 kilometers per hour. 80 to 30 kilometers or 49.7 to 18.6 miles. Now, once again, I am sorry, but I do not know what on range on and off-road means. I think it might be when it's on-road and off-road, see how like far it could possibly go with a full tank, but If I'm wrong, please once again comment. Feel free to. It's free, and I am actually happy that you guys care so much to comment on my videos. So yeah, armaments. A one Maxim Nordenfelt 57mm 2 or 2.24-inch gun with 6 7.5mm or 0.29-inch Maxim machine guns. Then the armor, 30mm front, 20mm on the side, and or 1.18 inches on the front and 0.379 inches on the sides. And total production, 20. Yes, they only managed to make 20 of these beasts before the war ended. And not saying it was possibly and not saying it was a crap design, because it was definitely had his benefits, but compared to the other tanks, it was kinda obsolete. Since it only has one main cannon and it can't really pivot, it can turn a little bit to one side, but if you want to aim a tank at your full side, you have to move that whole tank to the side. So yeah. Anyways, that's gonna be all from me. If you want to learn more about this tank, remember to go to tankencyclopedia.com to look even more. Alright, see you everyone. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and hopefully you can see the next video. Alright, bye.